Good morning, boys and girls. All right, we are on to chapter 2 of Swindle. All right, so where are we left last? These two dudes, Bing and Griffin, were having a fake sleepover. Well, it was a real sleepover for them, but they were having a sleepover at this old abandoned house. All right, because they wanted to prove they could do it, and none of the other kids from the class showed up. So there were like 20 something no shows and just those two guys. And so they are just sleeping in this old abandoned house. So let's see what happens. All right, where does this lead to? All right, chapter 2. All right. Remember, they talked a little bit about something happened in the past that they were kind of angry about the adults in the town. So let's see what that's all about. Chapter 2. As soon as the town had announced the meeting to decide what would be done with the Rockford land, Griffin had spoken those fateful words. Let's work out a plan. Proposal for development of Rockford site. This is old abandoned house, okay? This is their idea, what they wanted. Griffin Bing, head designer. The plan approved by the kids of Cedarville shows how the land of the old Rockford house can be turned into a skate and roller park. Laid out according to diagram A below, scale 1 inch equals 12 feet. With the help of Ben, a few classmates, and Mr. Martinez, their teacher, Griffin put together a formal presentation to make to the town council. But on the big night, the committee had refused to hear their proposal. They had already decided on their own project, a Cedarville museum. It still rankled Griffin. Not losing, sure, that had been disappointing, but to be ignored completely, brushed off like a mosquito, just because you were young and was unbearable. That was why he was here now, in this ancient dying house. That was why everybody should have been here. Every kid who was sick of counting for nothing in this town. It wasn't going to get a skate park built, but at least it would win them some pride. Anyway, spooky, uncomfortable, and boring as this was for Griffin, it had to be better than lying in bed at home listening to mom and dad arguing about money. So they have money problems. He regarded Ben's slumbering form with envy. Try as he might, Griffin was too keyed up to fall asleep. At last he began to wander the empty husk of the Rockford house, his flashlight guiding him down hallways and through rooms. At least the thunder had passed, the storm settling into a steady rain. So much for a dark and stormy night. And then the creature landed on Griffin's hair. Full-on terror rocked him. The flashlight dropped from his hand, and the room was plunged into sudden darkness. He slapped desperately at his head as the attacker beat its scalloped wings, burrowing into Griffin's thick curls. Squeaking and screeching in his frenzy, Griffin tripped over his own flashlight and went down, wrapping himself in cobwebs as he rolled wildly on the floor. He touched short fur, rubbery skin, and sharp clinging claws, but his slippery assailant resisted his grasping fingers. I wonder what this animal is. Oh boy. It was over, and unexpectedly, as it had begun, the creature mangled to disentangle itself and flew off, leaving Griffin there. He retrieved his light just in time to see a large black bat fluttering up the open stairwell. Wow, sounds like a good sleepover. You're okay, he told himself, heart thumping. Maximum gross, minimum danger. Whew. He frowned. There, illuminated in the cone-shaped beam, was a piece of furniture. Most of the house had been emptied prior to demolition day. Yet here was some kind of old-fashioned desk. He scrambled to his feet and went over to investigate it. It wasn't exactly Antiques Roadshow quality. It was beaten up and cracked, and the roll top was stuck at an odd angle. By the glow of the flashlight, Griffin played with the many drawers and compartments. There was nothing of interest, just dust and that occasional dead spider. One tiny drawer wouldn't budge, Griffin pulled up and the knob came off in his hand. He tried to pry his fingers behind the face of the drawer, but there was zero movement. He perched on the edge of the blotter to catch his breath. The seat of his jeans pressed against a small button. Snap! Ooh. The locked drawer popped open. A release switch. This must be some kind of hiding place in the desk. Eagerly, he shone the light inside the narrow compartment. Empty. Empty. No. Wait. The very back of the drawer, a flash of color caught his eyes. He reached in and drew out an old faded card. There was a picture of a loaf of bread in the center, surrounded by the message, Top Dog Bakery Products for the Sandwich of Champions. He turned it over and examined the other side. There was a colored drawing of a baseball player shouldering a bat. The image wasn't detailed, but the face seems familiar. Griffin read the name at the bottom of the card. It said George Herman Babe Ruth. I've heard that name somewhere. A baseball card. Had to be old too, since Babe Ruth had played a very long time ago. Griffin was no expert, but everyone knew that some old baseball cards were worth a lot of money. Just the thought of it brought a dull ache to his stomach. The Bing family was really struggling to make ends meet these days. It had gotten so bad that Mom and Dad were even talking about selling the house and moving to a more affordable neighborhood. No way, Griffin said aloud, teeth clenched. It had taken him 11 years to break into this town and these friends. He wasn't about to give that up without a fight. And if this card turned out to be valuable, get it out of your head, he admonished himself. What were the odds that someone would leave a priceless collectible to be destroyed inside a condemned building? Still, it was possible. He could hope. He made a face. Griffin was not a hoping kind of guy. His philosophy, if you want something, you make it happen. You don't sit around wishing for it to come true. Yet the tantalizing image would not let go of him. His family's financial problems over. No more dark circles under his parents' eyes from staying up half the night, trying to squeeze money out of a bank account that had none to give. Even the man with the plan could be a dreamer when there was so much on the line. So that leads us to chapter 3. All right, they're still in the middle of their sleepover. He finds this card, and he's thinking maybe he can make some money off this. All right, let's see where this goes. All right, boys and girls, have a terrific day.